My VMP supercharged Ferrari 5.0 project has been stagnant for months now. We'll get to why a little bit later in the video. But I'm tired of sitting around and waiting. This is my car after all. I'm gonna do what I want with it, and just to drive that point home. Quick question, and then I'll explain exactly what's happening here. Have you ever wanted to come hang out with the guys from the shop? Lee, Fernando, myself, and the rest of the team? Well, you're gonna get your chance, and Bling Sauce is the company that's gonna make it happen. They're also gonna do you one better and pay for one lucky winner to come race with us at Pocono Raceway, July 13th at the Race Motive Roll Race event. More details to come later in the video. Now, as far as chopping up my Ferrari hood, believe it or not, this is more than just a show of force. This is our front-mounted heat exchanger from CSF Radiators. It's gonna cool the fluid that's passing through our VMP supercharger. In order for it to work properly, we're gonna have to evacuate the air that passes through it out of the Ferrari hood, which means we need a vent and some ducting to channel the air in front of our radium fuel cell. Luckily, this ZL1 hood vent fits the bill pretty perfectly, and I've even got a template. Here is the basic idea. This is actually a replica ZL1 hood vent that came on an SS that we parted out, but it worked out nicely because I was able to kind of trim it and do a proof of concept before I decided if I wanted to actually move forward with this. Now, obviously, it'll look a whole lot better when we cut out the vent here, and that's what that other piece is for. With our template laid on here, you can see we've got our center lines lined up, and now you get the idea of how we're going to accomplish this. That initial cut that I made in the intro is well within the space that is ultimately going to be the hole in the hood for the air to come out. Now, what is going to determine exactly where it goes is this center support for the hood. Because of the way that the vents lay out on the ZL1 hood extractor, I'm going to be able to leave that and retain the rigidity that it provides. That reinforcement beam is going to sit right in this section here and be the best combination of adding holes in the hood but still retaining that rigidity. Fun fact, if you didn't know, all the ZL1 hood extractors come in carbon fiber, and for whatever reason, GM in their infinite wisdom decided to paint some of them. So because of that, this one has been sitting around. The ones that are painted don't sell nearly as well as the exposed carbon. It's got a couple little scratches anyway, but the idea is going to be to paint this to match the chassis once everything is all mounted up. Well, our first round of cutting is complete, and I don't think that things are going to work out exactly like I was hoping. Tight tolerances, the way the angles are set up, I don't think we're going to be able to leave that reinforcement bar in there and have this drop into place like we ultimately want. So that means we're just cutting a nice big opening. We are getting pretty close here, guys. It's still sitting up. The holes are all drilled and everything, but I don't want to push those down until this thing is ready to stay on for a little bit. We do have one more cut that we need to make, not to the hood itself, but to the extractor. The idea is going to be that this piece is going to slide under to hide the unfinished edge of the hood extractor. So we need to mark this and then go ahead and get cutting some carbon fiber. We're far from finished with this, but we are far enough along. Kind of check our clearances. Looks like plenty in there. And this is the basic idea here. Now, couple oversights on my part. Number one, we're not sitting down completely flush with the hood. You can see on the ZL1 hood, it actually has this recess that allows this to sit down much further, and same thing at the back where it sits down much more flush. So we're definitely going to have to do something to address that. We've got a lot more work to go, but as far as like the initial mock-up here, I'm pretty happy. I think once this is all painted to match, it'll actually flow pretty good with the car. It's kind of amazing, like if you look at the radiuses, the corners, softer corner versus more harsh corner here. It's just got like kind of similar styling. After looking at this on the car for a couple days, I've come to realize that I absolutely hate it. It doesn't fit the car like I thought it was going to, and in my head it looked great, but the realization is that it's not that good. It looks cheap, it looks added on, which means we cut a ZL1 carbon fiber hood extractor for absolutely nothing. The bigger problem is that I cut a giant hole in a Ferrari hood that is not easily repairable or easily replaceable. So in the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead, start working on the ducting, get a basic layout for that while I'm waiting for some of the other hood vent options to arrive. With the hood reinstalled, we have all the dimensions on the car that we need to build within. The idea is going to be to box in this giant opening here that the heat exchanger sits in front of, and then get as direct a route as possible out the hole in the hood. And in a relatively short amount of time, we have a good foundation for the duct work from the heat exchanger. There's going to be several changes that need to be made and a lot of finish work. Ultimately, we need to get the new hood vent in place, and that will tell us where the end of it is going to line up. But this is a great start, and me being a visual learner, seeing this on the car, it helps me to then take the next steps to ultimately finish this thing up. Now, our new hood vent has arrived, but before we go ahead and put this on the car, we need to talk about Bling Sauce and this amazing contest that they're putting on for our viewers, and then also what the holdup on this Ferrari has been the whole time. I introduced you to Bling Sauce a little bit earlier in the video. They're a company that specializes in detail supplies for interior and exterior maintenance on your boat, RV, and now car truck. They've taken 20 years worth of experience in the marine space and brought that knowledge to offer superior automotive cleaning supplies. They developed all new formulas to provide the highest quality automotive detail products for professional results with amateur efforts. We use their products around the shop, both on our personal cars and on parts to sell. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Bling Sauce. Now, about that contest. It's free to sign up. Use my link in the description to head over to Bling Sauce website. Once you're there, find the contest form, read over the rules, and fill out the application. Once you provide your email address with the completed form, bam, you're entered into the contest. Now this is where it gets really good. For every $1 that you spend on Bling Sauce detail supplies, you get 5 times entries into the contest, with one lucky winner to be drawn sometime around the middle of June. And I'm not just talking about spectator tickets for the race. Bling Sauce is going to cover your hotel and travel expenses. You get to hang out with the entire Scraplife crew in the pits for the day, and if you're feeling up to it, I'll bring a helmet. You can even do a ride along. It doesn't matter what you drive, you always want to look good. Bling Sauce has the quality products that you need, made right here in the USA, so you can get professional results with amateur efforts. And now the explanation for what has been a nearly 2-month delay on our Coyote swapped Ferrari project. What I have here is a slightly over-embellished representation of a price quote for our crank adapter. This is the piece that goes between the Coyote engine and mates it to the Ferrari transmission, an essential part of this project, and the cost involved here is staggering. $10,000 to manufacture this piece with a minimum order quantity of 5. Those are numbers that I just cannot wrap my head around for this project, but luckily, I think we have a backup plan. The original Ferrari engine that came in this F355, and there is one very, very important and specific part that we need out of it. Well, one of the reasons why I might still have this engine is because of the configuration that we were attempting to sell it in. People probably still had question marks about the internal condition of this, and we knew that water got into this engine, but seeing it apart now is definitely pretty interesting. But at the same time, some other parts are just look literally barely used. So this is a very interesting just point. I don't know that I've ever seen anything labeled like this before. You can see the numbers that are on each piston. And the way that this correlates is this is the furthest most forward piston on either side of the engine. So it's number 1. Some engines, they alternate. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back. Others will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 down the other side. This engine actually makes a U. So this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 and 8 are actually on the same part of the crank, which I've never seen something labeled quite like that. Well, I got number 2 out, and, you know, Tim is admiring the handiwork of the Ferrari that I bought that was mostly underwater. What do you see?
I see a Ferrari mechanic, and the rings are totally locked up. The oil control ring has a little spring to it. Otherwise, completely locked.
So for anyone that wanted to see this Ferrari remain Ferrari powered, there is absolutely no question that this engine would have had to have been completely rebuilt top to bottom. And another interesting point, this is not supposed to happen when you are pushing a piston out. Literally just tapping on the end of the rod with a little dead blow type hammer, and the liner, it's not supposed to move like that. All the main caps are out. None of them look great, but none of them are any worse than the rod bearings. The crank itself actually looks pretty good, which is going to make what comes next just all the more painful. Yes, I am putting a Ferrari crank into a vise, and if this bothers you, then you're really not going to like what comes next. I enjoyed that very much. So the part that's been plaguing us this whole time, the splines for the transmission, it's no longer an issue. Really, the only question is we have to figure out how to cut and machine what's left of this Ferrari crank in order to maybe bolt some sort of adapter that will then bolt to the Coyote engine. And of course, when I say we, I mean Andy from 262 Motorsports. He's the one that designed the crank and bell housing adapter. He said he's confident-ish he can make this happen. And while he's working on that, this is our new hood vent, which hopefully will look a lot better. Now, in order to make this work, we're going to have to cut a significantly larger hole, which is maybe the opposite direction of what we should be thinking, but I think the styling on this is much more on par with what should be going on to this Ferrari. I think it matches the slatted grille design and the rear deck lid of the Ferrari much more appropriately, so there's really only one thing to do. This is a significantly larger hole, which means that this better look good, or we might be in trouble. Moment of truth. That's not too bad. Even without the bumper put back on, I feel like this was a giant step in the right direction. It comes so close to covering the majority of the holes that I put in this thing previously. These ones up here, we're going to have to weld up, but I do want to do something about this AC intake duct since this car isn't going to have any sort of HVAC. And you guys are just going to love what car this was originally designed for. With the bumper on, I think this was definitely the right move. I think it's a step in the right direction. It's not even fully secured on here, but it just looks so much better being a lot thinner and closer down to the hood. Being black on there, it does obviously look added on. There's going to be no way to avoid that unless we paint this the body color, which ultimately I do want to do, but for the time being, I don't completely hate it. From this angle, you kind of get the idea of how the ducting is going to work coming up to it, and now that we have it in place, we can go ahead and finish our mock-up on that and make some additional progress. You guys have been asking for an update on the Ferrari, and I'm glad that I'm finally able to put one out there. The hood vent and then more importantly, the crank adapter have been two things that have been weighing on my mind because I didn't have solutions to those problems, and it seems like we've taken steps in the right direction on both of them, and he's pretty confident that he's going to be able to come up with a solution, and once we have that, it's just going to be full bore going forward on this. I have another large project that I'm going to be unveiling soon on the main Scraplife Garage channel. I was hoping to have this one finished before then, but that's just not the case, and it looks like we're going to be working on both of them kind of simultaneously, bouncing back and forth, but I'm glad that I was able to make a little bit of progress on this, and we're moving in the right direction now.
3, 2, oh.
My fingers were like 2 inches from that button. My hand's right next to it.
3, 2.
You can make an extremely stupid face if you want. You can throw up potential gang signs. Something that can be... Oh, God damn it. You f***ed me up, Eric. I was good until I heard your footsteps. No, you're fine. Go ahead. No, I was fine. I f***ed it up anyway.
Oh my God. Shut up.
Eat shit, Ferrari.